Hey guys, what's cracking? Somebody give me a 5 for 5 and we'll roll into it, guys. We'll just get into it. Get her on, get her on, get her on. You know what I'm saying? I'll say hi to everybody while we're waiting here just a couple seconds here. Don't want to wait too long though. That way we can get into this. So hi. Who was first in here? Hey, John Baldwin, good to see you, brother. Hey, Arlia. What's going on, sister? Mod powers activate. Edward, what's that? Karen, CJ, hey CJ, good to see you. Ain't seen you in a minute. Nice to see you here. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I am Planet Hermit. Thank you. I'm gonna say thank you verbally now, guys. She gifted 10 memberships after the stream. After I ended stream, chat was still active on my last one. So thank you for that, and thanks to everybody that's been gifting the memberships and becoming members. It is really what does help keep all this strong. It really it makes a big difference. I'll just put it to you that way. Um, and we have a lot of fun on the members only streams too. I've been getting about probably 2, maybe 3 in a month, and believe it or not, guys, that's more than most people give you. I'll just say that. My goal is to do it once a week, but sometimes I just can't get that done. It makes it really hard. Trying to do everything else, and I'm a one-man show here. Me and my wife and everything, but yeah, it is what it is. So, but anyway, guys, yeah. So let's just go ahead and jump into it here, guys. Oh man, Whew. Oh wow, ooh man. You know what? I had breakfast for dinner today, and sometimes breakfast sausage really messes with my acid reflux. I haven't gotten acid reflux very much since I've had bariatric surgery, 10 years ago. But when I do get it, it's bad. But anyway, so we will just go ahead and get into it. As you guys can see here, guys, this is SDO. I'm not going to show you where the satellite is tonight. This is in zero synchronistic orbit. If you guys were to like break that wording down and go back to the like where the word was originated from, Latin or what have you, um, you can usually figure out what that actually means just by the words because it'll tell you. Geo. Whenever you hear that word geo, that means Earth. And synchronistic. What's that mean? It means you're in sync, right? So geosynchronistic. You're in sync with Earth. That's what this satellite is doing. In other words, it stays over the same spot of the Earth as we rotate. Always keeping its eye on the sun, though. So, yeah. And also, side note here, if you hear the word helio, that is always referring to the sun. So, when you hear like geomagnetism, that is right. That's affecting the Earth. Let's magnetosphere, that kind of thing. Heliosphere, that's talking about the sun's magnetic protection for our solar system, protecting us from all the outside stuff. So anyway, just a little verbiage there, I guess. And I find that most people won't even take the time to explain that to you guys, and that's frustrating, to be honest with you. It's like you have to have some sort of level already before you can watch half these channels, and I just don't. I don't. Yeah. It's just not for me. Um, Obviously, I get that they have to skip over some stuff because if they didn't, guess what? They would never talk about space weather ever. Because there's so much that you can't always start at a level 101 is what I'm trying to say here. And which is why when I explain things, I do try to keep it more on like and this is not, please don't get offended by this, but they write newspaper, the people that write articles for papers, they're instructed to, and they're taught to write that at a 6th grade level. That way everybody can understand it and you don't have to think very hard on what you're reading. So that's kind of what I try to do here. Um, and it's not because people are stupid or dumb. It makes it easier. So anyway, guys, we are those satellites did fall. We'll talk about that here in a minute. I mentioned that in my previous stream. And we'll go over why that happened and all that. It's not a very long explanation. But guys, I did report on this X flare. Um, I'm not sure, and I don't know that we're going to catch any geomagnetism from that, any kind of solar storm. Guys, they're forecasting over here. This is NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center. For the next 3 days, they're saying nothing. Okay? They were forecasting for the end of the day on the 14th for us to get hit, and guess what? We did. We just did not get to storm level. You see this right here? Now, I know it seems pretty unimpressive here with the KP only going to 3. Well, it actually went higher than 3. This is the 3-hour average, which is why I always show you guys this one. Okay? This is the 30-minute average. This is the HP. This is a German site. Obviously, as you can see, it's not translated. I could translate it, but I don't really need to. Just showing you this graph. But right there, you can see how it had broke 4 right there. So with that being said, it got close, So, but anyway, and it did tail off again. It's already hit and gone. I can also show it to you on the space weather data. This is sorry about that, man. I had a ringing in my ear here. Also, guys, hey, I'm not going to show you the Schumann resonance today, but I do believe it's been acting up as far as being fluctuating and everything like that. That can cause ringing in your ears. So I'm wondering if that ain't what's going on with me. But anyway, this right here, we look at the BZ. This is space weather data. This is over here at Discover. And we used to use ACE, which is this. Now, it's essentially the same data, okay? But this is now being used as the backup for when this one has issues. So just know that. It's essentially the same data. I'm not going to go into what's different about it. This takes too much time. Well, it just cuts off a little bit of time, I guess. But anyway, the red line's what we're looking for here. This is our magnetic positioning here, or orientation, however you want to word that. We look for -6 on the BZ. It puts us in a position magnetically to where space weather comes in easier. Okay? In other words, it draws it in. Now, when that happens over here on Discover, they'll highlight that right here with purple, or whatever color your display is showing you. But you can notice how it went down right here, and it stayed there for a minute, and then it creeped back up. Now, this is pretty indicative of some sort of space weather hit, okay? Not only did that happen, but the phi angle changed at the exact same time, and so did all the other space weather data, okay? Speed, density, and temperature. Everything started reacting at the same time, which is pretty typical for any time we get space weather, right? At least out of ordinary space weather. So when we're looking at this, you can see here when we get to the -6, the phi angle change, which is actually the polarity of the solar wind itself. So what's causing this hit? Well, I went over it in my last video, and I just wanted that 131 there to give you guys kind of a little bit of a so you guys didn't have to look at a black screen while I was doing a little bit of a hello to you guys at the beginning. Now, I'm going to show you a coronal hole here, but this is not the coronal hole that's giving us the space weather right now. Okay? Come on, hurry up. My gosh. This one here. Okay, this one here is a bigger coronal hole than the one that's actually that hit us just a few minutes ago. Okay? Now, this is a hole in the sun's atmosphere, the corona. It's black because it's colder. That's how this instrument works. Okay? So, the surface of the sun is actually colder than its atmosphere. And I'm not going to go into all that. It definitely has a lot of discussion there on why that happens. They don't even know exactly why that is. Okay? They've been studying it for years. They sent the Parker SP probe out there a few years back, the one that so-called kissed the sun. They actually got it into the corona of the sun and took some data readings. And that was a big deal. Okay? So with that being said, they still don't know exactly. They got some really good ideas. But for what we're talking about here, I'm just going to say what is going on. I nowcast, right? And I report on stuff like that too, but I don't try to forecast. Anyway, so this is a hole in the corona, not a hole in the sun. Always keep that in mind, guys. Okay? Now, I know that looking at that, you're thinking, somebody says coronal hole. And the thing that goes through your mind, especially when you look at an image like this, you think, oh my gosh, there's a hole in the sun? What's going on here? No, it's a hole in the corona, the atmosphere. And this one here, we are probably connected to now, and because it is right in the Earth strike zone, guys. And this one is deeper and bigger. This is a very significant coronal hole. I look for us probably in the next probably 3 days, maybe 2 on the early end of it. We may get into geomagnetic storms with this thing, especially if we've got anything extra hanging around from some sort of a smaller CME from all of these flares. Okay, there's a lot of flares going on. They're not huge. We had an X flare 2 days ago, and then we've had some M class flares, but nothing too huge. Now this is they just updated this. Yeah, so this got updated earlier today. This is the NOAA's version of the endless spiral model, and you got a top-down version here and a side cut. Now the top part is density, and then the bottom model is velocity. So we're going to look at the density here. There's sun, this is Earth, and that's stereo A. Okay, so when we're looking at this, we want to look at the green line. Notice how nothing is really too crazy out here. So they might, I don't know if they're thinking that this coronal hole just isn't going to do much, if they're thinking it's going to not get here until a little bit later, which would actually indicate not such a hard hit, right? If it's moving slower, typically it's not as bad of a hit. Forgive me here for a second, guys. I gotta take a drink. Okay. So, with that being said, so you got that going on, and this is stereo A right here, right? That's its conditions. And the only reason why I look at this is because when we're getting like CMEs, if it's showing a hit on stereo A and not at Earth, that means that it's actually, this thing is going, CMEs are kind of going that direction, right? Now, if it starts to show like a close in between stereo A and us, I start to pay more attention. Hey, thanks, Callie, for the super chat. Appreciate you. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. And yeah, we'll stop and get a roll call here in just a few minutes, guys. I hope you guys appreciate that I'm trying to get a little bit more condensed and just stay on point. I don't want to waste people's time, basically, and I like stopping and talking to you guys, and I still will, but I hope you guys like the format of me trying to stop kind of in the middle and then at the end. I hope you guys like that, because I think it works. And I got that from Adam over at Marfugal, and I'm sure he'll be going to do a live stream here in a little while if he ain't already doing it. Hey, Genius, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. You're awesome. Awesome, awesome. Oh, and I just got a notification, guys, and I'm going to say this right now. Okay, while I'm talking about this, guys, give me a roll call. We'll just do the roll call right now real quick. Give me a roll call so I can know where you guys are from. Don't tell me exactly, because I don't think we want to do that. Just give me a region. But Survival Living, guys, he's a great prepper channel, and he's had some of his family's been having surgery. And just throw some prayers his way if you could. Prayers and good thoughts. I've talked to him maybe a couple times on some comments and an email once or twice. He's a really good guy. Great prepper. Great prepping information. I mean, this is an all-around cool dude, okay? And he's having some issues. I think it's his brother that's had some surgery and stuff. And when you see stuff like that, when somebody actually is telling you, hey, my brother's having surgery, that right there tells me immediately that he cares. And he's got a good relationship with his subscribers. You don't come out, you can see other channels that are just so, just brunt, So that's what I'm saying. He's not like that. And it's very easy to see, and you can see it. So he's just a really good dude. So throw him some prayers, guys. Kip Krusty Northwood. FEMA Zone 1. There you go, Gunslinger. Love it. Florida, Michigan. Hey, Aaron with the 5 gifted memberships. That's right, baby. Hey, Kay, good to see you in here. Hey, thank you for the gifted memberships that you did the other day. It doesn't go unnoticed. If I ever forget to tell somebody that, please let me know. I won't be offended. Sometimes we just get these things rolling in, and sometimes I miss it. So I do apologize for that if I do that. And we are going to do a members only stream this week, okay? So everybody that's a member, please make sure that you got your notifications turned on, okay? That way you get that. I want you guys to be able to be there if you can. Also, I try to go at different times so I can hit everybody, right? Now, I understand the majority of my members are probably over here, in the States. I get that. But I do want to do at least one or two that isn't necessarily convenient for that, is what I'm trying to say. Because I do have some others that are not there, and I want to, respect that also. But anyway, where are we all from here? Northeast Georgia, baby. Heck yeah. Indiana, that's right. Hey, Dwayne, fellow Hoosier, baby. West Virginia, Mark IG, into his Z. Get over and check out Ron over at Emergency Management Associates. Guys, he's been doing some really good stuff. He was doing one today on the Pew Pew that everybody's talking about. I'm not going to go and say those words because it does smack the algorithm in the face. All right. And thanks again, guys, for the gifted memberships there. I really do appreciate it. Did I see Deep Quake in here? Did I just roll through that? Hey, Trish, good to see you. I thought I seen Deep, but no, he's not here. It's okay. No, I just want to say hi. Hey, Ohio Gunrunner, where are you from? It's the same thing when I talk to Maine Girl, right? Same thing, baby. Oklahoma, baby. Also, guys, Des Moines, Iowa. Oh my gosh, I was watching Max Velocity. He's another weather guy, kind of like what Ryan Hall does. They had a PDS tornado go through Des Moines today, just a few hours ago. And if you guys don't know what a PDS tornado is, it is the highest level. Well, I think tornado emergency is the highest there's one more level past the PDS, I think. Unless it's reversed. Anyway, it's a really, really strong tornado. It had a very big debris ball with it, and it went through, I think, the southwest part of Des Moines. So, prayers for those guys, too. That's a very populated area. And it's still going on. Then we had a PDS over in New York today. So, I mean, weather's kind of crazy. Hey, Kay, thank you for the gift of membership. Awesome. Mark Matheny got that one, baby. Heck yeah. Thanks, Kay. Really appreciate you. All right. So, now, let's go ahead and, so as we're looking at this, guys, this thing we're going to connect to it, right? This coronal hole. Highly charged particles are going to flow out. It's going to get here. And whether or not it puts us in the storm level, I can't say. I don't know. Not yet. But NOAA doesn't seem to think that it will right at this second, or it would be here. Now, the next update on this particular model, I'm going to be watching it because sometimes it takes them a day or two to kind of, and if data changes, they will change it. Okay? And I like that about that. They don't just leave something wrong that's wrong. A lot of other models you go out there and look at, they'll update it once and there it is, and they don't change it again until the next event happens. I hate that. That's the way the NASA model is. It is. It's just simple. Here, I'll show you the NASA model real quick. It's the same model. It looks a little different, but it's the same. It's the same model. Let's find it here real quick. NASA CME tracker. Okay. Now that was from one, I think, yesterday. Back on the 12th or 13th. That's the last time this model updated. So yeah, keep that in mind too. But anyway, so guys, we got a lot, and what I'm going to do right now, we got a lot of sunspots. We actually broke 200 sunspots already for the month, if I'm correct. And if that's the case, if we've already had 200 sunspots and we still got 2 weeks to go, wow, that's all I can say. It might not be the case. I need to go look at that again. But that's what I was kind of looking at today, and it was seemed to be pretty high. Hey, Deepquake, thank you, brother. Here you are. Hey, man, you didn't need to do that. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. 10 more gifted memberships, baby. Heck yeah. See here, think. What's up? Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Wow, you guys are just so awesome. Okay, so anyway, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take this. We're gonna look at the actual. Let's go ahead and look at the gray. Man, I don't know if I want to do that or not. I think maybe this is the one maybe that I want to look at. Let's just take that to 1 day and see if this is the one I want to look at. I think it is. Yeah, it is. Okay. So I want to show you this one because it just kind of pulls out where the actual sunspot is. Okay. And there's something else I can do for you guys too. And I don't do this very often because it eats up so much memory. And I don't use the Helio Viewer for that reason. But Helio Viewer is a awesome, this right here, it's an awesome site. Okay. So if you want to use it, because it actually gives you Earth scale right here. See it? That's the size of Earth. And it's really cool because if you do that, then obviously you know what you can do. You can bring it over here next to this sunspot, and it gives people an idea how big these things are. So that little dot right there, see that? You can fit Earth inside that sunspot. So it gives people a really good, quick idea of how big these things are. Right? So if you looked at my thumbnail, I intentionally did that today. I just took an image. Taking an image from here ain't that big of a deal. But doing like a full model run, you got to download it and everything else. And the graphics on it is top notch. But it does eat up a lot of memory. It takes a long time to do. It just does make it a lot harder. And I feel like once I show you like what I just did, you already understand now. I can go right back to here and just show you this. Right? So anyway, as you can see, we got these other sunspots. Look at all these, guys. I mean, it's just peppered. Peppered sunspots, man. This thing is just full of sunspots. So if I back that off and we go ahead and go over here to the colorized version, right about here. Come on, man. The colorized version, the magnetogram here, this will show us the magnetism of the sunspots, negative, positive. So when the negative and positive are kind of hanging around each other, that's when we get the reconnection points and we get flares. Okay? So when we say something's getting a little bit more complex, really what that means is we got some little cores or even bigger ones, multiple ones, starting to appear, and they're starting to swirl around each other, negative and positive, getting close to one another. Okay? Now there's something here I can explain to you here real quick. And this helps people understand the actual sun cycle, because we are in solar maximum. Okay? So, but next solar maximum, when the polarity flips, guess what's going to happen? The pole flip on the sun is the reset of the sun cycle, correct? So what happens is you'll see that you got negative, positive down here in the southern right now hemisphere, and then you got positive, negative in the northern hemisphere. Red, blue. Red on the left, blue on the right. Blue on the left, red on the right. When that pole flips, guess what? The sunspots will flip with them. Okay, so that'll be opposite once we have the pole flip on the sun. So it's a good thing to know, because it helps us realize when the sun cycle is doing what it's doing. Okay, but also I want to say we do get 3% of rare sunspots that will actually be reverse, and we also do get a certain amount that are vertical. And then sometimes we'll get some right on the equator that are really kind of strange. But the magnetic signatures on those things become really, really odd. But it just is what it is. So I just wanted to point that out. So let's go over here and we're going to take a look at spaceweather.com, because this is where Dr. Tony Phillips, you guys know I love his website. He does an awesome job. Please come over here and give him some love. Those 20 Starlink satellites I was talking about did fall. Okay, they did not make it. But it's interesting what he says here. Okay, and that's why I'm bringing it up again. I would have told you that they fell, but this is a little bit bigger of a deal. Not really a big deal. It just makes it more, I guess, newsworthy. That the fact is, some of this is being blamed on extra stuff in our atmosphere from the sun. Okay, so when we look at this, well, this is something I don't typically do. I'm not going to read the whole article, but right here it says, right now our atmosphere is extra puffed up with high solar activity. So, I mean, it just says it right here. So the satellites were doomed despite Warp 9 thruster firings. I'm assuming that's the thrusters they have on the satellites themselves to steer them into orbit and keep them there, right? So they tried, it didn't work, and all of them fell back. And it was due to an engine failure on the rocket itself. They didn't get them up high enough. Okay, so that's kind of what they're saying here. But if they witnessed that, I would love to see the pictures. If you want to send them to me, I will definitely show them. But they're also, Dr. Tony Phillips is asking you too, if you've seen them, submit the images here too. And I would suggest that too. But, you know, you might have got there, you might not have, I don't know. Some people might have seen these, I didn't. But yeah. But I wanted to bring that up because it is significant, and we've been talking about some of these, you know, during some of the solar storms, things falling out of the sky, that kind of thing. When I say falling out of the sky, they got burned up in our atmosphere. Nothing hit the ground, okay? And if it did, it wouldn't have been very big, and it probably hit in the water. 70% of our planet's water. So that means 70% of the time when something falls out of the sky, it's going to hit the water. Just keep that in mind, guys. Now, there is a 30% chance that it doesn't. So, keep that in mind also. And for most things, if it hits the water, we don't even know it, right? Now, if it was a humongous, like, asteroid or something, obviously we'd all know that. But a little Starlink satellite, and they're not very big. Okay? They're not. At all. So, just kind of keep that in mind. Alright, so, as let's see here, but I just wanted to give Dr. Tony Phillips some love there. He definitely did his thing there. It's just an awesome website, guys. It's a website, it's not a YouTube channel. So if we scroll down here too, guys, I'm going to talk about Noctilucent clouds for a minute. Okay, this is the graph that shows Noctilucent clouds. Noctilucent clouds are blue metallic looking clouds, and they're really hard to see sometimes. Okay, they're hard to identify. You can see them almost whenever they're there, but they're hard to identify. But they're blue metallic looking, and they're formed by water vapor that freezes around meteor dust that's high up in our ionosphere. Okay, it's already cold up there. So what that means is, in the summertime, and this is most people. I thought, why would we see more of them if we're talking about a freezing thing? See more Noctilucent clouds in the summertime. Well, the reason is because in that hemisphere, more water vapor's getting up there because the sun's hotter on our water, on our glaciers. We've got more water vapor getting up there. It's already cold enough to freeze up there. That's what I'm saying. The ionosphere is not going to get hot enough to not freeze. So that's why. I just want to explain that. Now, we are seeing a lot of these now, guys. They're starting to see them down in lower latitudes. And when that's happening, it does point to certain things changing. And I will say this, though, too. This is a data thing that we look at that we have not looked at for very long. I'm not sure exactly how many years we've been collecting data on Noctilucent clouds, but it hasn't been very many. So I'll just leave that at that. But I wanted to bring that up and let you guys understand what was up with that. Now, the near-Earth objects, they measure that by lunar distance, the distance between us and the moon, and it's exactly what I just said, near-Earth object. Means it's, I guess in space terms, closer to Earth. You see one right here was a 0.3. In other words, that was 70, well, I'm going to say 70% closer to Earth. That was 0.3, okay? A 1 would be us to the moon. So that's how close it came, 0.3. It was closer to us than it was the moon. Alright, now whether it passed between us and the moon, I don't know. It could have been on the other side of the planet when it passed. I have no clue. But it did. It got that close. Now notice how big it is. Very, very small. That's a pea shooter right there, guys. Okay? And you'll notice that the ones that get really close that we miss typically are extremely small. So even if that thing did hit our atmosphere, get into our atmosphere, we would not have ever have known it. It would have burned up. Somebody might have seen a falling star, a meteorite burn up. Maybe. Probably wouldn't have seen that. So, you know, we shouldn't be sitting here getting all crazy about this unless we see stuff like this right here. 680 diameters. Then yeah, if that thing is 0.3, yeah, we better be paying attention to that, because that's a decent sized rock. Okay? This is not. That's not even going to make it to the surface. It's going to burn up way before it gets there. So just kind of keep that in mind. But I highly encourage you guys to go over here to his website. It's awesome. He's an awesome. I've actually never talked to him, but everything he's done here has always been on point. Now, right now, let's count the sunspots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right now, there's 12 of them. Okay? And each one of these, you can fit Earth inside it. And probably the bigger one over here on the right, probably 4 or 5 inside there. So, yeah. And I'll try to remember to show you guys that Earth size when I do show you guys the sunspots from now on. Because I do think it's beneficial for everybody to kind of get an idea of actually how big these things are. I mean, it just is what it is. So, what we're going to do here, we're going to go ahead and look at the 304 on SDO here. And I'm going to take it back to the 14th. It's going to be kind of a long run here. So we'll let that load. We'll go over here. This is GOES. It's the same extreme ultraviolet, but it's on a different satellite. It's the same kind of tool, it's just on a different satellite, guys. Okay? See how big that hole is? Look at that thing. And it is right in front of us, and it's deep. When I say deep, what I'm talking about is the atmosphere is almost completely gone from that area. And you can see there is no kind of haze look over top of this thing. There are no little dots like in the middle, like they are here on the side. That's what a deep coronal hole is. In other words, the surface of the sun is completely exposed right there. And when that's happening, that means highly charged particles are flowing out. Now, I just seen something on the data here I want to show you and talk about for a second while that other one's loading. The BZ, look. Look what happened here. See how it went down? We see this a lot. And then it rebounded. I mean, look at that. Now it's in the positive. What's that mean? You know what that means, right? It means now we're deflecting things a lot better. Because our magnetic polarity, not polarity, but the magnetic orientation has went more towards the positive. So that means it's deflecting stuff. It helps our magnetosphere deflect things. Okay? So that's what's happened there. And this is very indicative. We see this with coronal hole streams. We see this with CMEs. We see this when the current sheet, when we get hit with the current sheet. I'm not going to go into what that is. But, yeah, we see that a lot. And the phi angle, the polarity of the solar wind itself, because remember, it gets here magnetically. So that polarity of the solar wind itself, because solar wind is plasma. It's magnetic. It's it's a charged gas. It has a negative and a positive. That's what plasma is. Okay? So as it's traveling here, it travels here magnetically. So the polarity of it matters. To us anyway, for when it hits us. So when that flips, sometimes it'll just the flipping of the fly angle is what they call that, is enough to put us into geomagnetic storms. So always keep that in mind, guys. So we just got to keep an eye on that. But we see this a lot, and that's probably guys, if we just stayed here -6 for a good amount of time, even if we're not getting a whole lot of space weather, we'll see that happen, right? Well, we can get into low G level storms just from a constant BZ of -6 or greater, because things just start piling in. Now, this is SOHO, right here. This is Earth. The satellite's a million miles closer to the sun than what we are, but it is from our perspective. Now, we did have some CMEs here, and I have to say, this has got to be one of the slowest moving CMEs I have ever seen. Okay? And I'm not just saying that. This is something, look how slow this thing is moving. I mean, it is, and if you compare the speed of stuff here to the speed here, and then if you really want to get technical, you can look at the timestamps. I mean, we're talking multiple hours here. I've shown you guys stuff that was off screen in 2 hours. I mean, that is moving really, really slow. So, yeah. Now, that's not heading at us, okay? Just so you know. But that is just, I mean, anybody that's watched me for a minute probably is going to agree with me here. I just don't, that is not moving fast at all. I mean, not at all. So, to me, if that's some sort, I don't even know if it's a CME. It could just be, regular weather just going off of the sun there, right? Just kind of intense. But when it's moving that slow, I just don't understand if it's a CME that it had enough energy to actually escape the sun. But obviously it did. Whatever's going on there. So, and it looks like a mess. So I don't know what's happening there. I don't think it's coming at us, though. It's coming from that bigger sunspot on that side of the sun. So, this one over here. Right there. Okay? And there could be some stuff on the backside, too. But I do think we're going to have to watch this one. We got some lining up spots here. There's 4 of them. Now, that's actually odd in itself. But typically when we see them kind of start to line up, we'll see them do them in like sets of 3, but 4 we don't see that very often. At least I haven't. It doesn't mean anything. No, it's just I don't see 4 cores typically. That's all. That's all it means. It's nothing more than that. I'm not trying to say it means anything because it doesn't. At least not that I know of. Now we just had a flare. See, it's an R1 flare, which means radio blackouts are now being experienced over here. So, yeah. So if you're over here in Asia, Australia, Japan, you might be getting some radio blackouts right at the moment. That actually just happened while we're talking here. Trish, I caught another, I'm live during another flare. But anyway, that was an X flare. There's an M flare. This is an M flare. Now, it does look like it's not. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. That is yellow. You see that little yellow line right there? That means that they're saying that that's continuing. So it could be going to get stronger, or it could max out right here and take a minute for it to fall off. The impulsive ones are the ones that go straight up, straight down, right? Now see what I'm talking, look here too. See this? The other 3-hour average came in and look, see it's up there, but it didn't get to 4.5 like I showed you guys here, right? So, yeah. So that's why. Okay, guys? That's why I show you guys this one. Gives us more of a real-time kind of thing going on. But anyway. I'm not going to go any further here, guys. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off. I think Adam and Dex are probably going to go live here in just a few minutes anyway. I would guess, unless they're not doing the show tonight, but I think that they are. So if you guys get over and check out Marfugal, if you would, please. I would much love that. Go over and show them some love. Yeah. Check out Ripper, Ilea, Trinity. Check out all the channels I talk about all the time, guys. But yeah, so I'll look. Hey guys, turn on your, especially if you're a member, turn on your notifications, because I will be doing a. Here's a 304. I forgot to show this to you. This is the 304 angstrom, guys. There's that. Yep. You see that? That actually was a CME too. Let me show you. Watch right here. Back that up a little bit. Watch right here where my cursor is. See that? So that's that flare, R1 flare, and that did. Yeah, that's actually, you know, if Earth was over here, that would probably be a CME coming at us that might give us some geomagnetic storms. It's a decent sized one. That's quite a bit of plasma leaving the sun there. But it's not coming at us, so we ain't got nothing to worry about. Okay, so just to let you know. But that's where that flare was at. Sorry, I almost forgot to show that to you. Wham. That just happened. So, but anyway, guys, get over and check out everybody I talk about all the time. Turn your membership, turn your notifications on. And we are definitely doing one this week. And so with that being said, doing a members only stream. Guys, everybody, please turn your notifications on, because I'm uploading about every day now. I'm trying to get to where I could do one in the morning and one in the evening. And the one in the morning will be definitely just condensed down to 10 or 15 minutes. I'm still working on that. I'm having a hard time getting that done, so I don't want to promise anything at this point. But I'm still trying to get there, and I will. I'm just trying to work out my schedule, and it makes it kind of hard. But I'm going to get it done, so I don't want to promise if I can't make it happen, because I've done that before, and I don't like doing that. So anyway, guys, God bless. Thanks for all the gifted memberships and all the people that joined. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Get over and check out all the channels I said, guys, especially if Marfugal and them go live here in just a little while. Haven't seen a notification come across. I've been checking. But God bless. Yahusha saves. And as always, you can drink this Kool-Aid.